Okay, so today we're going to just spend a bit of time looking at continuing professional development. And the reason we want to look at it is it's one of the fundamental pillars of professionalism, not only in geoscience, but in pretty much all areas of our work. And it's important because knowledge is not static. If we don't keep up with what's happening in our field, we are going to fall behind and we're going to become irrelevant. So what is CPD? It's a word that's bandied about. We're going to do CPD. We've done CPD, but what is it actually? Well, it's simply a term that people use to describe the activities that you learn after you've completed your formal education. And it refers to the process of tracking and documenting what you do. It's a logbook. Whether you use a physical piece of paper or whether you put it on the computer or if you do it over the internet, it's just a logbook recording the things that you have done that are going to help you in your field of practice. This is particularly important. It is self-driven. Your professional organization doesn't tell you what you have to do. Your employer doesn't tell you what courses you have to do. You decide what courses you want to do. It's not only formal learning, it's also informal learning. The various skills that we obtain as we go through our life. But it is not something that just happens. It is a planned program. You look at what you want to do, where you want to go, where your gaps are. So you go and do those courses. Then you log them. And then you reflect on what you have done and where you want to go again. So it's very much a wash, rinse, repeat type situation. And what you want to remember is that the goal of CPD is personal development. It's not just about collecting points. So you want to own the situation and make it work for you. So why would we even want to do it? Well, the principle of CPD is inherent in the Geological Society Code of Ethics. Demonstrating CPD is not a requirement for GSSA membership. But if you look at the Code of Ethics, it's more a moral and a professional obligation. Now, while it's not a requirement membership, it is highly recommended for your own personal professional advancement. And it doesn't matter where you're employed. It's not only applicable to practicing geoscientists employed in industry, it's just as important for those who are employed in the academic situation, research, or even those who work in government and statutory institutions. Where it is a requirement to demonstrate CPD is if you have applied or want to apply for chartered status within the Geological Society. Applying for chartered status, this is if you want to act as a competent person or a qualified expert using your GSSA membership. If you're using your SACNAS membership, don't worry about it, but it's if you want to use your GSSA membership to sign off on public reports, then you need to be a chartered member, which means you have to demonstrate CPD on an annual basis. But even more fundamental than the Geological Society, the whole notion of CPD is contained in all the international geoethics codes. Another reason why we need to do CPD is because for people who are registered with SACNASP, it is a requirement. If you want to renew your professional registration, you need to complete your CPD system. And as from this year, if you are a candidate geoscientist with SACNASP, CPD is compulsory before you can upgrade to PR SciNet. So we land up in a situation where we've got two streams. SACNASP has a CPD system, GSSA has a CPD system. Now, what we have done with SACNASP is we've completed an MOU with them such that SACNASP registered GSSA members, you can decide where you want to log your CPD credits. You can either do it via the SACNASP website, or you can do it via the GSSA system. We've done this because many of us are registered in both places, and to try and do CPD in both systems is just not going to work. So it's up to you to decide where you want to log your points. If you're in compliance with one system, you will be deemed to be compliant with the other system as well. There are many elements that are common to both classification systems, but they are quite different in the way that they allocate credits. And this is important to know, that you can't simply log your points in one system and it's automatically reflected in the other. And that's because they are quite different in the way they allocate credits. SACNASP cannot simply siphon off the information from the GSSA site or vice versa. There are some minor matters around protection of personal information and various other cybersecurity issues. The choice is yours. You decide where you're going to log your credits, which system you're going to use. It's not that one is right, wrong, or better or worse. They are both equally acceptable to both GSSA and SACNASP. You decide for yourself which suits your specific circumstances better. It's important to note that each system is a standalone system. So you either use one or the other. You can't combine them. Now, SACNASP requires full compliance with one system for a full 5-year cycle. So if you've been doing, say, the SACNASP system, and you decide that you'd actually like to follow the GSSA system, then you have to go back to the beginning of that 5-year period and update everything on the GSSA system. And same going from GSSA to SACNASP. So if you want to change after each 5-year period. So what we'll do now is have a look at each of these two systems, SACNASP and the GSSA, and then you make your decision as to which one you want to follow. Do we have any questions at this stage on why we even bother to do CPD? Okay. Right, so according to the SACNASP system, there's a 5-year cycle. The current one is 1st of April 2022 to 31st of March 2027. All 5 years from the date of your membership. So if you've only registered with them last year, your cycle begins last year and continues for the next 5 years. At the end of the 5 years, everything reverts to zero, and the next 5-year cycle begins. SACNASP requires that you have 25 SACNASP credits in a 5-year cycle, which is effectively 5 credits a year, because some years you do more and some years you do less. However, take note of this. This is a new regulation that has come out this year. SACNASP says, yes, you can have 5 credits a year to 25 credits over 5 years, and you can split it up, but you have to have at least 3 credits in any 1 year. So you can't wait till the 4th year and do all your 25 credits then. You've got to have at least 3 credits in every year of that 5-year period. Okay, so there are now 3 categories in which you can claim credits. You've got to have credits in at least 2 of the 3 categories. So you cannot get all of your credits in only 1 category. They must be split out over at least 2 of the 3 categories. And there has to be at least 1 credit per year from category 1. Category 1 activities. This is a compulsory activity, and it effectively relates to formal technical courses, conferences, workshops, seminars, so forth. They've also included online events and in-house events. All of these category 1 activities are subject to validation by SACNASP. So if you are a provider of any of these activities, you have to get it validated through SACNASP before you can present it and offer SACNASP credits. When you log your formal activity, you've got to have a certificate of attendance or completion, which is issued by the organizer of that conference. And the way that it works is you would need at least 1 credit per year to give you 5 credits over a 5-year cycle. And 1 credit equals a full day event, or 0.1 credit per hour. You can only claim a maximum of 5 credits. Even if you do more, if you attend 10-day conferences in the year, only 5 credits will reflect and only 5 credits will count. When it comes to event accreditation, all our GSSA courses, all SAIMM courses, all SAM codes courses, these are automatically accredited with SACNASP for CPD points. If you're doing a course that is run through a tertiary institution or a government department, then it is automatically accredited as well, as long as the institution has filled out the correct form. If you're doing a course through a third party, whether it be a private company or a professional conference organizer, every event that they put up needs to be accredited through SACNASP. This accreditation also needs to be done before the event. Generally, we don't have much of an issue with South African conference organizers getting courses accredited, but it is not so easy for international conferences. There is, of course, a way around it. Contact me at the GSSA, and you can also speak to Toby at SACNASP. Which reminds me, we go back a few slides. This is Toby Mzobi. He is the contact person at SACNASP in charge of professional development. Take down his number and his email address. He is very helpful if you get stuck with anything. So if you need something accredited, speak to Toby, contact me, and we'll see how we can help you. I just want to highlight this. Very often you'll see on a conference flyer by a third-party conference organization that the event is accredited for CPD points. Please confirm with the organizer that it is SACNASP credits for a start, and also please ask for the SACNASP validation number. You will not believe how many PCOs out there say that they have SACNASP and or EXA validation when they don't. So you go ahead and do the course thinking that it counts for CPD, but when you come to log it, it's not there. So please do yourself a favor, and every time you attend a third-party conference, request the validation number. Now, while we do the validation through SACNASP long before the event, it's only available on the SACNASP website after the event has taken place. We have to supply a list of all the delegates that attended that particular event. And then you, as the delegate, have to upload your certificate of attendance. And again, it's sad to say, but sometimes people log the event when they haven't attended it, and that is why this has come into play. Okay, we have a question here. Are AusIM courses SACNASP accredited? They would be. There's no problem with that. Accredit them directly with SACNASP. If you have attended an AusIM course and you want to claim for it, send me all the details and I will assist you on that. Right, so if you go onto the SACNASP website and you go into the drop-down list and you find that the course that you have attended is not there. If it's a GSSA course or a related GSSA related course, contact the GSSA and we will assist you on that. Third-party courses, please contact your course coordinator or otherwise Toby at SACNASP. So back to this, we need to provide a delegate attendance list. That is why it is so important that the name that you've got on the Zoom is the same as the one that goes onto your certificate. Because we have to supply that to SACNASP. And if, for example, there is Mary's iPhone on there, you're not going to get a certificate and you're not going to be recognized on your list. How would you accredit it? Company-specific presentations and meetings of geologists? When we accredit it through SACNASP, there are a number of things that we need to provide, such as the program, the list of speakers, what it is about. So once you send me all of that information, then we can upload that to SACNASP and get it accredited. Does that answer your question, Hilton?
Yes, it does. It does. I couldn't find the emoji. Yes, it does. Thank you. Right.
Cool. Right, so that was category 1. Under SACNASP, you have to do category 1 activities. Category 2 is divided up into 2 different sections. Firstly is work-related activities. And this is done because SACNASP recognizes that much learning actually takes place on the job. So here, under 2A, you can claim CPD credits for simply going to work. Now, this category is skewed in favor of those who are employed and can be a disadvantage if you're not employed. The type of work that you can include is restricted to science-related work. It doesn't include management time. And this can obviously be a challenge for people who are in middle to senior management positions. You can claim a maximum of 2 credits for 800 hours of work per year. Then under 2B, you can claim 50 hours or 1 credit for mentoring of SACNASP candidates. They have expanded that to not only SACNASP candidates, but any formal mentoring program, whether it be a third-party program or an in-house skills sessions. All of this mentoring, you can claim 1 credit for that, to a maximum of 1 credit per year. Under category 3, you can claim a credit for being a member of a recognized voluntary association. And the 3 most common ones, the ones that are accepted by SACNASP, is the GSSA, the SAIMM, or the SAIG, IEG, the engineering geologists. You can belong to all 3 of these, but you may only claim 1 credit per year. So if we go back and think that we had to get a minimum of 3 credits per year. So there would be 1 credit for a course that you would attend, because you need 1 of those per year. Then you can get a credit for doing work, or a credit for doing mentoring. And you can get a credit for being a member of a voluntary association. So really, that is how you can get 3 credits without too much effort. The other thing that you can get credits for, and this allows you to get a maximum of 3 credits per year, and it's 10 hours for a credit. You can present a paper at a conference. You can publish something in a peer-reviewed journal or a technical article. Or if you complete a postgrad degree, you get 5 credits once off without even thinking about it. Or if you act as an external examiner, you can get. The thing about these activities, they have to be verified. So you need to provide SACNAS with proof that you did whichever one it is. And on the next slide, there will be a continuation of this list. Lecturing and supervision of postgrad students. If you are a part of one of these committees or task groups, even self-study. But again, all these activities must be verified. So you would need to upload onto the SACNASP system proof that you are or have partaken of any of these individual activities. And yes, SACNAS does allow various exemptions and also partial exemptions. If you are retired, fully retired, not working at all, you're exempt from CPD. I'm still not sure why retired people not working would actually want to be registered, but that's another story altogether. If you are retired and not working, you are exempt. And there are, of course, other special exemptions and dispensations. The latest document, the latest policy document on the SACNAS website is of as May 2024. It's useful to download that and read through it. But so I'm sure most of you know how to add CPD credits on the SACNAS website. but in case you have brain freeze, go to CPD Scientist Portal, and then you would log in with your registration number and your ID number. You would then go into whichever cycle you wanted to edit, and you would add the information there. Okay, question, let's see. Are there credits for reviewing scientific papers? On the SACNAS system, no. On the GSSA system, yes, and I'll come to that a little bit later. So what happens if you don't do your CPD? Well, according to SACNAS, if you don't do your CPD, if you are deemed to be deficient, that will then go to the Professional Advisory Committee. Now, the Professional Advisory Committee, that's the same committee that looks at your applications. Where on the system do you load your GSSA CPD records? Be patient, we'll get there. What I'm doing at the moment is just going through the SACNASP system, how you would load your SACNASP stuff. And then a little bit later, I will do the GSSA system. So what SACNASP says, if you do not comply with the requirements, primarily they will require that you follow an approved program of catching up with your CPD. And if you don't do that, eventually they can deregister you as a member. Having said that, the objective of SACNASP is to encourage and to enforce personal development. They spend a huge amount of time and effort getting people to register. So they are not just going to deregister you at the drop of a hat. They're going to bend over backwards to get you to either get your CPD up to date or keep your CPD up to date. They also recognize the fact that you probably do all the CPD, you just haven't logged it. So they are going to assist you as far as possible to get your CPD up to date and not just chuck you out willy-nilly because you haven't done it. And having said that, the 1st of April is when this year's CPD credits should be logged by. So you have a couple of days yet. Okay, so let's take 15 minutes and go and get some coffee. But before we do that, any more questions regarding the SACNASP system of logging CPD credits? Theo, you've unmuted yourself.
Yeah, I just wanted to know, sometimes category 1, I understand that you guys want us to go and attend courses. And yeah, we enjoy to go and attend the courses. But in some years, it's just not possible. Being in the mining industry, it's tough. So sometimes, you work on an operation. I'm just, talking on behalf of some of the guys working for me. So if you're on an operation that's struggling, to get time off to go and attend courses might sometimes be a problem. So now I see they've changed the rule now that you must, at least have 1 credit every year. So you can't now 1 year have 0 and the next year you do 2 or 3 courses and it makes up for it in the 5-year period, if I understand you correctly. And that might be a bit of a challenge for some of the guys.
Yes, totally agreed, Theo. And that is why within the GSSA system, we do things a little bit differently because we recognize these issues that are almost specific to the mining field.
Right. Okay, now because I know most of the guys they log their points on SACNAS, although they're members of GSSA as well. And if I understand you correctly, if you started the 5-year period with SACNAS or GSSA, you need to complete, that 5-year cycle with that specific organization in terms of your CDP points. But is it like you said? I mean, they're not going to now just throw guys off if you now missed 1 year and the next year you do 2 courses to try and make up for it. If I take myself, I've been, in the last 12 months, appointed in a higher position. So last year I couldn't attend any courses based on, I'm in a new position, need to find my feet. Had a lot of challenging issues with the SEC and with the JSE. So, there was just not time to go and do it. But, this year I'll most probably be able to attend more than one course. But now 1 year you've missed that category 1 category. So is it going to be be all and end all, or will they take that into account should it get to that point?
They will take that into account. And also, since that regulation has only come into being this year, they can't enforce it retroactively.
All right. Okay. No, good. No, thanks a lot for that. GSSA sends out, regular basis, these emails telling you which courses, and seminars there are to attend. Is there, do you have to be a member of the SAIMM and, those guys to receive, their letters showing which courses they actually have available for the year? Because I think that might be a problem as well, that everybody's not aware of the different courses and workshops and stuff that's actually available to go and attend.
Look, SAIMM are only going to send you a list of their courses if you're a member of there.
Okay.
But if you go onto the GSSA website under events, third party or partner events, we have a direct link to the SAIMM event website, and so you can check there from time to time as well.
Oh, no, good. Okay, thanks for that, Tania.
Okay. All right, Sean has a question. SACNASP Science Portal says that does not correspond. Yes, send a mail to Toby telling him that, and he will sort it out on the back end. We always have that from time to time. Okay, Faith, you're asking, if you apply for upgrade in the middle of a 5-year cycle, what happens? What they will do is they will look and see what have you done within the years that you have been a candidate. Have you done any CPD in those years? A minimum of 3 per year. And if you've done that, then there should be no problem. Anybody else? How do you log the working hours per year? If you are a consultant, you've obviously got your working hour log. You can use that. If you are employed in a company, you just get HR to write a note stating that you worked that many hours per year, that you're employed permanently with this company, and therefore you've got the working hours. Yeah, just back in a second. Yes, of course. One of the things with SACNASP is, if you just going to go back in the slides, if you've got more than 1 year put up here, you can go and edit anything within that 5-year period. You can add what you did last year or the year before. That's not a problem. You cannot change the previous 5-year cycle, but anything within the cycle that you are working in, that can be edited as you want. Okay, so what we've done till now is just looked at the SACNASP system. And as you can see, one of the drawbacks of the SACNASP system is that it's meant for all scientists. So there are some things which do not apply directly to geoscientists, and some things which are more difficult for them to cope with. So if we go back to this slide, we've shown there that you can select which one you want to do. Just a reminder that once you log your points on one system, it doesn't magically appear on the other system. You have got to log your points on one system or on the other, and they standalone structures. You can't combine any of the, or any two of them in one 5-year cycle. So what are the benefits of looking at the GSSA system? Well, it's geoscience specific. As we've said, the SACNASP system is generic. It caters to the needs of the entire range of natural scientists, which when they started it was mostly scientists working in a laboratory or a large company. Where the GSSA system is more specific to the needs of geoscientists. People who are both employed or looking to be employed. Our system is benchmarked against other international geoscience systems. It can be used wherever you live and work. It doesn't only rely on GSSA content. We have the MOU in place with SACNASP so that people can do their CPD through the GSSA and then be recognized by SACNASP for that. We're also in the process of developing an MOU with academics, because what they do is very different to what industry geologists do. We're also looking at MOUs with various outside organizations for mutual recognition of CPD systems. For example, somebody mentioned AusIMM. If you are a member of both AusIMM and GSSA, currently, if you want to remain compliant, you need to do CPD in both systems. So what we're working on is mutual recognition of CPD systems. So if you're compliant with AusIMM, we automatically say you're compliant with us. That is happening in the background. The CPD system is based on a number of principles. You do not have to log CPD in order to be a member of the GSSA. It is professional best practice, but it is not currently required. However, when the new SACNASP Act is promulgated, things will change such that members of voluntary associations will be required to log their CPD in order to remain members. If you have chartered status, you are required to demonstrate and log CPD. The whole system is underpinned by the presumption of honesty. In other words, we're not going to check that you've done this course or that course, or that you were actually wide awake while you were doing the course. If you went on an online course, that you didn't put the volume off and go and do something else. You're all adults, you're all professionals, and we therefore assume that everything that you do will be according to those circumstances. However, good governance requires that we do audits, whether it be GSSA and SACNASP also have the ability to audit our system. We base our units of activity on the number of hours that you work at doing something. It's not you're going to get credits for a particular type of activity, but rather on the time that you spent doing these professional development activities. And we use a simple, mostly one-to-one. 1 hour is 1 CPD credit. There are certain activities that slightly different, and we try and make it principles based. don't give you 1,001 rules that you've got to follow. So the GSSA system comprises 4 categories. Now remember, SACNASP had 3 categories, and you had to do category 1 activities. We've got 4 categories, and while we do encourage people to collect points across the whole spectrum, none of these categories is compulsory. So let's start off by having a look at formal learning. And this, as you would imagine, this is basically the equivalent of category 1 activities with SACNASP. It is when you attend a formally structured course, conference, workshop, field trip, seminar, so forth. We recommend that in every 5-year cycle, you have at least one SAM Codes course. And we also recommend that you attend the CPD and professionalism workshops. But beyond that, any formally structured course counts. Where we have 1 hour is 1 CPD credit. So if you attend a full day course, you get 8 CPD credits, and a half day is 4 CPD credits. If you do a course that is tested, it's 1.5 times, but you have to pass the test. Formal learning does not apply to undergraduate lectures. So while you do your university degree, that does not constitute professional development. Remember, CPD kicks in after you graduate. It's not only GSSA organized courses. Any formal learning activity can be used. And these are generally geoscience, knowledge, or skills courses. And there's a bunch of examples here. International events organized by other organizations, formal structured in-house training, any online e-learning webinars, live streaming events, correspondence courses. All of these form part of formal learning courses. There are 2 varieties of such technical courses. You go back there, they all function related. So we get the technical course, which means things like GeoCongress or the Diamond Centenary Conference or the Platinum Conference. Those would all qualify as technical geoscience courses. We also get the non-technical courses, but these are courses which focus on specific scenarios related to exploration and mine geology. So, for example, things are financial evaluation and decision-making for geologists, the MPRDA, or any other mining-related law course. CPD courses for geoscientists, geoethics, and job-related language or software courses. So if you decide that, or if your company is going to send you to China and you need to learn Chinese, it's a non-technical course, but it's job-related, so you can claim for it. However, if you decide you want to go to Paris for the summer and you need to learn a few French phrases, that's not going to cut it as a function-related formal course. Now, it's these courses where we often find they're either incorrectly accredited or even subject to abuse. So these are the ones that we audit from time to time to make sure that people are actually following the regulations here. And this is just a punt for the GSSA courses this year. As you see, there's a whole number of courses that we provide So you can select any one there that you like. This year we've got a number of hybrid courses, which you might find you want to attend. So to help with CPD, if you present at any one of these conferences, you get free registration. So you get free registration, you get CPD credits for attending the event, and you also get CPD credits for presenting at the event. So we try and make it easier for people to get all of their CPD credits. Also within the formal learning category, if you complete a postgraduate degree, you will also get a certain number of once-off credits in the year of graduation. For laboratory staff, can attending ISO 9001, 1725 training be considered for CPD points? The answer is yes, because it's a non-technical but function-related course related to the work that you are doing. So yes, indeed, that would very much be a formal course. If you're part of a formal internship program, we also have arrangements with organizations who provide this. You can get formal learning credits under there as well. One of another difference is under the SACNASP system, you had to get your courses accredited, and it was quite a mission to get through. And if you are a third-party organizer, costs a significant amount of money to get it accredited. What we do with the GSSA is we don't actually give you a list of which courses you can and can't add. Any applicable course can be put in the list by the course coordinator. Whether these are university courses or third-party courses, you can create an entry in the list and add your course. We don't charge you to do that. So we don't also validate those courses that go in, but we do every now and again go in and have a look at the list and throw out the ones that are not applicable. Also, we might audit a sample of courses or a number of members randomly selected to prove the relevance of the course. And this is particularly in the case of non-technical courses. As with SACNASP, you are encouraged to upload your certificate of attendance. This does not mean your certificate of registration, but it's a certificate issued by the course organizer after the event. And if you're doing an examinable course, we definitely require that certificate. So if you go to the website and you see that your course is not listed there, first thing, just contact your course coordinator for them to add it to the list. Or if they're not available, you just log on to the website and you manually add the course yourself. If you have any issues, contact us at the GSSA and we will help you do this. These are just some of the things that you need to have on hand when you add it to the list. Right, the second category is knowledge contribution. And as the word says, this is where you can claim CPD credits for preparing and presenting material to formal or informal events, leading formal field trips, writing, publishing, reviewing papers, reviewing theses. These can all be claimed here. You can also claim it if you're a student who is doing postgrad demonstration and or teaching assistant duties. One, log the hours for a postgraduate degree on the formal learning section. Yes, you would have to add that on. If we go back here You wouldn't log your hours for your postgraduate study. These are the number of credits that you can claim. So once you've done your honors, you can claim 30 CPD credits, 60 for an MSc and 90 for a PhD. This doesn't include your day job activities. So if you are paid to teach for 8 hours a day, you can't claim CPD credits for that. Because there's a huge amount of time and effort that goes into producing knowledge, writing papers and so forth, we allow you to claim 3 CPD credits for every hour that is spent. How far back can you claim? On the GSSA system, you can claim as far back as 2017. Under the SACNASP system, you can only claim within the 5-year period. So you graduated in 2023, you can certainly go back and add it under that particular year. We go back here. Under formal learning, there's a goal of 5 days a year. It's a goal. There's no obligation to do it. And you have a maximum of 80 CPD credits that you can gain doing formal learning. Under knowledge contribution, there is no maximum CPD credits for that. So if you can claim 220 credits in a particular year, that's fine. We allow you to receive the full benefit from all of your efforts. And one of the reasons we do this is that it's fairly easy for then people to acquire either most or many of your CPD points through this particular activity. So some of the guidance that we provide. If you're doing a lecture, if it's a new lecture, 5 hours of presentation per hour of lecture. So you would claim 5 hours preparation and 1 hour presentation, which would be 6 hours. Multiply that by 3 to give you 18 CPD credits. If you do the same lecture year after year, then we don't allow you to do the same 5 hours of preparation every year, because mostly it's just updating. So then we look at the guidance is somewhere between 1 and 2 hours of preparation, plus the hour that you would present, multiply by 3, which would give you 9 CPD credits. And you need to keep copies of lectures or course programs for audit purposes if they should be required. Then if you write a paper and you publish it in a recognized peer-reviewed journal, not one of these predatory journals, but a genuine peer-reviewed journal. The guidance here is if you are the sole or the first author, it's 1 credit per page, or 1 hour per page of about 500 words. So if you are an author and you're publishing a 5,000 word paper, that would be roughly 10 pages times hours, which is 10 hours. Multiply that then by the 3, which would give you 30 CPD credits. If you're the subsequent author on the paper, it is half that amount. This does not include the time that you spend on the research. This is simply for publishing the paper. We can, in addition to this, include the time that you spend on research, and we claim that under a different section. With publishing a book, you would get 60 CPD credits in the year of publication. And again, you would then be able to include time spent on research under a different category. If you are part of a formal mentoring program, doesn't matter which mentoring program, whether it be an external one, whether it be within the company or a university program, you get 3 CPD credits per hour. And if you're part of the SACNASP program as a mentor, it's 40 hours, which will give you 120 credits per year. The third category looks at self-directed study or informal learning. So this is something that you would do by yourself. It is not a formal activity. So because it's not a formal activity, the amount of credits that you get are lower than if it was a formal activity, to the stage where 1 credit requires 4 hours, and there's a maximum of 80 hours that you can claim, or 20 CPD credits. Note here that contrary to SACNASP, we don't need you to supply us with a list of the books that you read, the videos that you saw, so on. You claim this, and we believe that you did everything that you said that you did. So the types of activities that we are talking about, if you attend a non-structured, an informal geoscience related event, whether it be a lecture or a field trip, and here are just some examples of the type of courses, talks that you can listen to, go to, that would form part of your self-directed study. Reading journal articles, relevant journal articles. How to bake sourdough bread is not a relevant journal article. Personal research. So this is where you can claim for the research that you did when you wrote your paper or did your presentation. Even viewing online presentations. So you can go to the GSSA YouTube channel and you can watch any one of these, and you can claim the time under self-directed study and informal learning. And again, we do not require a list of these articles or the presentations that you watched. And the final category is that of professional practice. Again, 1 CPD credit requires 8 hours of work, and there's a maximum of 10 credits a year that you can claim for that. They're not auditable. We do not need a list. And the types of activities that we include here, various professional activities and various skill sets that you can add to your CV. So these are the kind of things that we're looking at. If you're writing an SOP, if you're doing an article for a non-technical journal, or you're writing an article for your company newsletter, if you're taking part in internal workshops, career days, anything which is related to your social license to operate. If you attend electromining, mining industry, on the committee of any relevant conference, if you are on one of the branches or councils of a professional organization, the statutory body, and even time spent in informal mentoring and in being mentored, you can claim those under professional practice. In addition, various skill sets that you could add to your CV. Soft skills. Now, remember, these are not function related. So they don't have to be directly related to your job. If you go and do a course on language skills or business skills or a general software course, learning how to use Excel or Word or something like that, not necessarily related to your work, but it does enhance your skill set. So you can include all of this under professional practice. There are also on-the-job activities. Now, these are not your day-to-day work things, but it looks at the work beyond the routine that enhances your professional skill set. Some examples here: four-wheel driving courses, first aid, fire rescue, and so forth. And also courses which are not technical or functional, but are useful to you and develops you as a person, as a professional, such as an MBA, for example. You can claim all of these things under professional practice. Again, these things are not auditable, but please keep certificates where you are provided one. So this is just a summary slide to show the 4 different categories and a summary of the things that fall under those categories that you can claim for. So this just shows the activity, the objective, the weighting points, how much you can claim, and the maximum points that you can get in any one year. And we have an objective of 60 CPD credits. Everybody can get these 10 and the professional practice, self-directed study. So before you even bat an eyelid, you have got 30 CPD credits. And then attend a course if possible. It's free because you might be presenting, in which case you can include a whole bunch of credits through knowledge contribution. We also realize that many of our field or mine-based geologists might be in remote areas, and it's not easy for them to get to courses or get to various things. That is why formal learning is not an obligatory objective. And it's been made so much easier now that so many courses are online. You can just log in and take part of it. But there are ways that we can get credits through knowledge contribution, self-directed study, and professional practice, all while living out in the sticks on an exploration camp or on a mine site. Unemployed members, retrenched members, student members are not exempt from doing CPD. But we've designed the system so that you can give of your time and knowledge and still earn CPD. The slide and the next one. There are free online webinars. You can volunteer at a mentoring program. You can sit on one of these SAM Codes committees or working groups. Join the GSSA activities. We're always looking for people who are wanting to be active within the meetings, subcommittee. So one of those activities is likely to be of interest to you. Providing contributions, writing or reviewing technical papers for SHAG or any other journal for that matter. Students, write up a paper based on your research, publish it. present your results at one or other conference, be a mentor, sign up for teaching assistant duties, also become members of various committees and working groups. All of these things anybody can do. If you're retired, if you're retrenched, if you're a student, doing any and all of these things will get you all the credits that you need on an annual basis. And yes, of course, we do have full exemptions for our members who are fully retired. And we have partial exemption as well for members on special leave and other circumstances. So if you feel that you have circumstances that you need an exemption, please discuss that with us. Right, so whose responsibility is what? The GSSA provides multiple training opportunities. We also provide you with an online CPD portal that you can log your activities. And we do send annual reminders to you as members to do your CPD. SACNASP also provides training opportunities. They provide an online portal and they send annual reminders. It is your responsibility to log the credits on whichever system you choose. It's not SACNAS's responsibility. It's not the GSSA responsibility for recording your credits. You need to take responsibility for that. You also need to, if you are doing your credits through SACNAS, or rather, if you're doing your credits through the GSSA, you need to download your certificate annually and upload it to SACNASP, to the SACNASP website. So the question that came up a little bit earlier, how do we go from the GSSA to SACNASP? We provide you with a CPD certificate, and you take that CPD certificate and you upload it to SACNASP. And I'll go through, show you how to do that in a moment. Sharing the slide, I am going to share the entire presentation with everybody. You will also get the recording as well. Right, so we'd go to the website. You need to make sure that your personal information is updated. You need to let us know whether you're doing your CPD through the GSSA or SACNASP. Put your activities in, and then at the end of every March, download the log report and then upload that to SACNASP. You then log into SACNASP, into your portfolio, and there's a place where you can upload your log report that you are in compliance. So this is how you physically do it. You go to the GSSA website, click on members login, and it asks you for your email address, your password, and then you log in. On your dashboard, go to your details, make sure that you click on edit details, and under the user details, you can make sure that we've got all the important things, your ID number, your date of birth, your professional category within SACNASP, your SACNASP ID number, your field of practice, and also select where you are going to be doing your points. If you need to add a CPD event, you go to that same dashboard, click on CPD events, and click on add. Then in order to log them, go back to your details and click on CPD. You can either select anyone from this list, or you can add one onto it. When you click on add, make sure that this is correct, whether it be self-directed study, formal knowledge contribution, or professional practice. If it's formal, there'll be a drop-down list here that you can select from. Make sure all of these are correct, and then hit save. So again, if there's formal learning, there's the drop-down list. If it's not in this list, you may have to go back and add it, as I showed you earlier. Then this is where you download your report, or you can, under edit files, that is where you supply the certificate to upload it to the system. Okay, now, yes, that is complicated and it's a pain in the butt, and we realize it. And what I'm wanting to give you a heads up is that in end of April, beginning of May, we will have a whole new GSSA website. There will be new CPD instructions, and it will be so much easier because once the event is logged into the system, it automatically creates a matching CPD entry. And once you register and attend your event of your choice, you will automatically be given a certificate, and it will log itself onto your CPD profile. So unfortunately, to get through the rest of this year to the end of March, because you need to have it done by April, you're going to have to go through the pain and suffering of selecting it. But from next year, from May of this year, for next year, we will automate all of those things, so it won't be so much of an issue to log formal courses. Anything else you'll still have to go and add yourself, such as professional practice and so on. How does one get the attendance certificate for sessions they attended but never got the certificate emailed? You should have, first thing, go and check your email deleted bin. If you can't find it there, then send an email to Kate, which is sponsorship@gssa.org.za, and Kate will endeavor to get it to you, but she cannot go back for 10 years and find something way back then. It's really just this last year. So the important thing is, guys, please, if you don't get your certificate of attendance within a month after attending the conference, send us an email and let us know. We can't do these things 6 years down the line. It is your responsibility to make sure that you get the certificate. And check your spam boxes and deleted bins. Because I just want to run through now very briefly how you can upload your GSSA log to SACNASP, and also how to change your CPD system if you've decided you want to do whichever one you're not doing at the moment. Let's see. So again, you go to CPD Scientist Portal, you log in, you find that, you log in, you go to your CPD portfolio, and here you can see it puts up the number, the years within that cycle, and what your CPD credits are. Under CPD portfolio, you've got these 3 systems where you can add activities, edit a cover note, or change the CPD system. So if you want to change it, you confirm your field of practice. You will select the GSSA or SACNASP, and then just put in a note to let them know that you are changing your system. And then every year, you select the year, you add your CPD accreditation from the GSSA. So that's just the form, fill out all of this, and it shows here as being fully compliant. Notice it lets you know that you are following an approved CPD system, what the credits are that you've been deemed to acquire, and that it is compliant. So if you are a GSSA member and you are recording your credits on the SACNASP system, you just download the SACNASP certificate, and you can attach it to your CV and then send it to the GSSA as and when requested. And under the new website, we will have a place for you to upload that on an annual basis. So in summary, the choice of where to log CPD credits is yours. You decide where you want to log your credits, and you will be deemed to be compliant by the other organization. But while they are broadly similar, there are many differences in the way that they allocate credits. So you will not be able to simply transpose information from one field to another. If you log it in one system, it's not going to magically appear in the other system. That is why it's important to upload the log from one system to another. Your CPD is your personal responsibility. You decide what courses you're going to do, what events you're going to attend, what you're going to read. It's entirely up to you to decide what you want to do. Having said that, it's not the company's responsibility to provide or pay for it. And it is no one's responsibility except yours for logging your credits. You need to keep track of what you've done, and you need to keep track of doing your CPD credits online. Your employer can play a role in assisting you, but that role is not necessarily financial. There is nothing that says that your company has to pay for any of your CPD activities. It's a personal interest that you have for getting your credits done. You can't say, my employer won't pay for me to attend a conference. SACNASP, GSSA don't care about that. CPD is your personal responsibility. But some of the role that your employer can play is they might be able to provide training opportunities. They might provide support for you to attend these things, perhaps not financial. 20 years ago, companies were paying left, right, and center for people to attend conferences. Money is not that freely available anymore. So while you can take time off to go to an event, if they don't pay for it, you're still responsible for your seeing. Many companies out there provide a lot of support for people who want to do postgraduate studies, write papers, or be part of GSSA branch or division activities. Take the opportunity to be part of these things. Another useful thing to note is that the mining charter obligations. There is an obligation for companies to invest in human resource development. So speak to your company, speak to HR, discuss your program with them as part of your personal career progression plan. Now, although it is in the company's own interests to have a better educated, trained workforce, neither the GSA nor SACNASP can force your employer to do anything. But SACNASP has written a letter addressed to all employers explaining the benefits of CPD and also requests their cooperation. I will put all of that letter, as well as the latest SACNASP updated document. I'll put that in the chat in a moment. So in conclusion, view CPD as a personal development program, and not just doing or collecting CPD credits. It's like running up an escalator that's going the opposite way. It's an effort, but it's so nice when you get to the top. Okay, so that is us. Do we now have any questions on any aspect of CPD? Whether it be GSSA, SACNASP, or anything that you wanted to ask. I've put the policy document in the chat. The letter from SACNASP is currently on the GSSA website. You can download it from there. Any questions, guys? Any comments? So everybody knows what they're going to be doing before the end of March. Remember, the end of March, 1st of April, is when SACNASP requires that you update your CPD system. So either put it into SACNASP directly or download your log from the GSSA and put it in, upload it to them. What is the process of joining or volunteering in committees within the GSSA? You send me an email telling me where you would like to volunteer, what your interest lies, and we will then make sure that you get put in touch with the correct person on that committee, who will very much welcome your input. I'm going to pop my email in the chat. On SACNASP, after 5 years, yeah, what they do at the end of 5 years is they look at it, see who is compliant, and if you're compliant, you get a tick, and you're then allowed to update your registration. It's not the correct word, but you'll renew your registration, and everything then reverts to 0, and you start again for the next 5-year cycle. If you are not compliant, then they want you to become compliant. Sean says, with regards to the GSSA uploads, I do not see an option for uploading certifications and degrees. There is. It's the same place that you would upload your certificates for attending a course. Mining documentaries, yes, would also count for video learnings. Sean, also just to note that with the new website, we are going to make it a whole lot easier for people to find things like where they need to upload documents and stuff. Well, you'll get the recording, you'll get the PDF of the presentation. If you have any additional questions as you go on, please don't hesitate to send a mail either directly to me or via the GSSA, and we'll do what we can to make your life a little bit easier. Okay, well, with that, thank you all very much for your time and attention this morning. I hope you found it useful, and we look forward to seeing you at another event sometime, someplace.